Dr. Montgomery and my classmates. This is Stephanie Swepston presenting my read aloud. I recently had eye surgery, so I prepared 2 cards that I will be referring to. They have large writing that I can see. This is for a class of 2nd graders. Hey class, do you remember the experiment we did yesterday? What was that about? The water cycle, that's right. One of our key words was evaporation. We saw how the water in the large bowl evaporated and then it precipitated into the small bowl. Both of these words are on our word wall for this week. Evaporation and precipitation. When I was at the library last week, I found a book that will tell us even more about the water cycle. Hey class, what's the name of this book? Water, that's right. And who is the author? Seymour Simon, very good. Seymour Simon has written over 300 books. Can you believe that? Over 300 books. All of his books are nonfiction. It's also called expository writing. This means that Seymour Simon is going to explain things to us. He likes to write books about science and the natural world around us. All of Seymour Simon's books have beautiful photographs. He calls these photo essays. Some of my favorite Seymour Simon books are about sharks, whales, penguins, and tornadoes. But today we are going to learn more about the water cycle. Before we begin writing our reading for today, let's review the vocabulary words we learned yesterday during the experiment. Evaporation referred to what happens when the water changes from a liquid into a gas. Precipitation is the process by which water vapor cools and turns into water or ice in the form of rain, snow, hail, or sleet. These words will be important as we read the Seymour Simon book about water. Okay, let's dive right on in. Water is always on the move, constantly changing to and from water vapor, liquid water, and ice. This is called the water cycle. One way to visualize it is to follow a drop of water on its journey. We can begin anywhere, but let's begin in the ocean. Heat from the sun warms the surface of the ocean, and our drop of water evaporates, becoming water vapor and rising higher and higher into the air. Strong winds grab the drop and carry it for miles until it is over land. Let's look at the nice picture of the water cycle. The drop starts here in the ocean and then evaporates into the sky. Warm updrafts from the sun-warmed lands push the drop still higher and higher into the atmosphere where the air is cold. When the drop cools enough, it condenses back into a liquid. The drop combines with millions of others to fall as rain. Going back to our illustration in the book, we see that the water started here in the ocean, evaporated into the sky, formed clouds, and then came back to the earth in the form of precipitation. Formed clouds and then came back to the earth in the form of rain, also called precipitation. Back to the book. If the atmosphere is cold enough, the drop might fall as snow or sleet. That makes me wonder, how cold do you think it gets way up there in the atmosphere? I bet it gets really cold. Perhaps the drop of water lands on a patch of soil, a plant leaf, or even a street. It might evaporate again, or it might sink into the soil and finally join together to become part of an underground aquifer, and then part of a stream or river. The journey could take many years, but finally the drop will return to an ocean or other body of water, continuing its endless travels through the water cycle. We just read a new word that many of you probably haven't heard before, aquifer. Aquifers are large areas underground that store water. Did y'all enjoy reading our Seymour Simon book? We learned all about the water cycle.